What's going on, YouTube world? Today we have something super special for you guys. Seeing that it's summertime, we have something very exciting for you. But if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button before we get started. This one's gonna be special, alright, so we're outdoors, guys, and we have everything prepped up and organized for our Thai style pineapple tofu fried rice. So we're gonna go through everything just so you know what's in this meal. So here we go. So we're gonna start off with our onion, obviously, carrots, celery, and corn, sweet bell peppers, extra firm tofu because we don't like the soft ones. It's a little bit too soft when you cook it and prepare it. We usually buy extra firm strictly. Here we have our soy sauce, which is light. Soy sauces that aren't light usually are a little bit too salty, so we go with the light one. Here we have a ripe pineapple ready to use. Now, generally when I make fried rice or anything that's oriental, I use sesame oil or peanut oil. Today, because we don't have it, we're going to use raw nuts, raw peanuts, and crush them and basically fry them in our olive oil, and I'll create peanut oil. We have sesame seeds as well. Other than that, we have garlic powder, which is high in flavor, no salt. We have here some herbs, specifically dried basil, which is very flavorful, very healthy for you. It gives the whole dish a lot of flavor. So that's everything we have. Let's get started and start cutting these vegetables. So here we have carrots, all fresh, peeled, nice and clean. By the way, my hands are very clean each time we process anything or use anything in the kitchen, or this time outdoors. We make sure that our hands are clean. This wasn't being served to any customers, but whether we serve to customers or we cook for ourselves, we make sure that our hands are clean because to be honest, the hands pick up so much germs, and germs obviously transfer to food. So as you can see, I've cut the carrots pretty much into a small dice, and I am cutting them all equal size, both for presentation and also just for just when it's cooking. If you have 3 different sizes of vegetables, all 3 different sizes are going to cook in different times. So if you cut everything the same size, generally when you cook everything's going to be cooked in the same way. So that's what I'm doing here. So I basically take the carrots and cut it into 4 different quarters, long ways, and chop it down into small pieces. It's kind of technical, but once you work with a knife, you'll get used to it over time. So as you can see, nice and colorful, very healthy, all the same size. Alright, here we have our celery. Obviously, I'm going to be pretty much doing the same thing, cutting them in half and then cutting them into small dices. So celery is something that's very good to cook with because it's high in natural salt content. When you're cooking with this, it gives it a lot of flavor, the dish a lot of flavor. And if you are a person who tries to stay away from salt, celery is the thing. So here it is. I'm gonna put it in this bowl over here. Okay, so up next is our spinach, nice and fresh. Generally, when you're cooking spinach, once heat is applied to spinach, generally it shrinks. But for me, I like to chop it down and make it small to size. It's not necessary. It's really up to you. But me personally, I like to chop it down. And for this spinach and for this meal, I'll be chopping the spinach in small dice as well, pretty chopped up. And yeah, this just adds a lot of color and also body to the meal. It helps stretch the meal as much as spinach kind of shrinks. I just like to see lots of color in my meals. So spinach is one of those things where it's high in protein, it's very nice looking, and it just buffs up the meal. So usually I put in spinach in all my meals just for that green color and that nutrition as well. So as you can see, nicely chopped, ready to go into the bowl. There you go, right into the bowl. So up next we have our onion. All right, so same as everything else, as I've been telling you, we're gonna keep all of our veg pretty much the same size. So I think I'm gonna use the whole onion, to be honest with you. Onion is great for aroma. It's good for fighting bacterias, and it adds lots of flavor to the meal as well. So generally anything I cook, onion is like a super essential before doing anything. So usually when I have my cooking oil, I'll throw in onion, garlic, things of those sorts, just to build flavor and build that nice aroma where you can smell it from blocks away, especially that I'm cooking it outside. I know everybody around me is gonna smell this once I start cooking it. So as I said, I'm just chopping it into small dices as well. So basically, yeah, as you can see, small dice, nice and small, so that it cooks equally to everything else. Lots of flavor as well. Onions necessary in every meal, especially in this one. As you can see, nice and small dice, ready to go. So up next, what we have here, bell pepper. So I'd say this is pretty much a little bit less than half. We're gonna use all of this in the meal. Bell peppers has a nice sweetness to it. It's very healthy for you. And the beautiful thing about these vegetables is they come in like 4 or 5 different colors, which just helps with the meal, right? Anytime you're eating a meal and you're enjoying it so much, most of the time it's how it looks and obviously how it tastes. So we like to make sure there's lots of color. So up next we have our peanuts, which we're gonna use both for flavoring and to create a peanut oil, which, as I was telling you in the beginning of the video, that I thought I had in the cupboard, but we didn't have. So you know, you got to work with what you have. So we have olive oil, virgin olive oil, very good for you. But as I said, like generally I'll use sesame or peanuts. So what I'm doing here is crushing the peanuts, and by crushing it and chopping it up, which I'll be doing next, basically exposes the flavor. And when you throw this into any oil, it doesn't matter what oil it is, the fats, the natural fats from the peanuts will naturally go into the oil and take over the flavors of the oil, because naturally olive oil doesn't have too much flavor in it. But that's what we're going to be doing, so that we have a peanut oil that's authentic to this meal. So as you can see, nicely chopped, crushed and chopped, and ready to go into our olive oil, which will create a peanut / olive oil for our fried rice. So as you can see, we have here all of our veggies chopped up. You can see everything is pretty much uniform. Our corn, our bell pepper, our onion, carrot, celery, and our chopped spinach. Very colorful, very flavorful, and very nutritional. Needed in every meal. So here now we have our firm tofu. So likewise with all of the rest of the ingredients, all the veggies, we're going to be cutting up our firm tofu in small / medium dice. I don't want to do it too small, but I want to do it too big. So you'll see once I cut it, it's in between small and medium. And what we'll be doing is seasoning this, marinating it, frying it up before anything else, just so that it gets a nice crisp on the outside, and also all the flavors will be marinated right through the tofu. So I'm just gonna put it in a bowl right here separately and season everything in the bowl. So just remember, guys, like seasoning is essential. Like you can't be cooking foods and eating foods that have no flavor. That's what we do here. We make sure that all of our meals are full of flavor. So here it is, nicely cut, perfect size. Tofu's generally soft, but we buy our extra firm so that it withstands the heat. And yeah, so we're gonna flavor it and I'm gonna show you what's going on. So as you can see, our sesame seeds, our soy sauce, and our seasonings, our veggies all ready to go. So here we have our super ripe and very sweet pineapple. Now this is something that's going to add amazing flavor to our meal. My brothers and sisters from Thailand usually cook with this, as it's something that grows in abundance and it's just so flavorful. If you want something sweet, something tangy, something refreshing, pineapple is just that thing. And in Thailand, generally, a lot of their stir fries and their fried rices and all those things have pineapple in it. It's just a blast of flavor once you add it to a meal. So that's what we're doing with this meal. So as you can see, I'm cutting off the skin because the skin is a little bit tough and I don't know if that's digestible. So we're cutting off all of the skin, all the blemishes on it, and we will be cutting everything in the same way. Small dice / medium dice, just matching everything else. You don't want anything oversized, uncooked in your meals. So here I am slicing it up, getting it all prepared for our meal. Next time you're making a stir fry or a fried rice yourself at home, I recommend this and I suggested that you cut up some fresh pineapple and you throw it into the pot. I swear to you, you won't regret it. It might sound different to us, but it's something that is, as I said, done in Thailand, islands like those. The flavoring is just so amazing. It's something that I've tried and something that I love, and it adds lots of flavor to it. So as you can see, nice and juicy, very sweet, cut all to the same size and ready to go. Nice and beautiful, everything nice and prepped, ready to throw into the pot. Lots of color, lots of nutrition. So back to the stove. So I had my stove outside. The wind was blowing a little bit too high, so thankfully I have my little shed here. So I'm just gonna heat up some oil, olive oil to be exact, and we're gonna be turning this into peanut oil as I was telling you before. So let's start off by sauteing some onions. Now I'm not gonna use everything, but we're gonna saute some of it. A little bit more. Perfect. Now I'm gonna grab some celery. As I was telling you before, it's gonna add a lot of flavor to the pot as well as sodium / salt. And in that way, I won't have to add too much salt myself, or any salt actually, other than soy sauce. So here's our tofu, nice and marinated. I let it sit and marinate for a good while. So now that the heat of the oil is pretty hot, we have our onions and our celery, which are our flavor builders, are in there. We're gonna fry it up with our tofu until our tofu turns into a crisp and allows all of the flavors to marinate through the tofu so that each bite is full of flavor. So we're gonna do this, and we're gonna add in some peanuts now to create that peanut oil and peanut taste throughout the whole meal. So we don't use too much oil, but in this we use enough just to fry up everything, and it's still not even a lot compared to what people usually use. Try your best to, first thing, buy healthy and organic oils, and try not to use too much because obviously it's not too good for you. Everything in moderation, right? So as you can see, we have our tofu, and it's starting to get a little bit brown. It's starting to get a little bit crispy on the outsides, which is what you want. Tofu is generally very soft, and that's why a lot of people don't like it. But what we do is make sure that whether we're deep frying it or baking it or just sauteing it like this, we do so until it's very crispy, and it's pretty much ready. So what we're gonna do now is take these beautiful vegetables, add them, saute with the tofu and the peanut / olive oil, and get these things nice and cooked. So as you can see, look at that, beautiful. If your pot does not look like that, subscribe to our channel, because this is how every meal looks. You don't play. So here we are sauteing our pot, our tofu with our vegetables in our peanut oil. We got our corn, our onions, our celery, our carrots, peanut oil, and our tofu. So as you can see, it looks beautiful. I wish you could smell, but the smell, the aroma is beautiful to the eye. So colorful, so nice. So what we're doing now is adding our soy sauce, and we're gonna saute the pot in some soy sauce. And as I was telling you guys before, the soy sauce that I decided to use this time was a light soy sauce, because the regular soy sauce is very, very, very high in sodium. And if you want to use regular high sodium soy sauce, there's nothing wrong with that. Just use it in moderation. But here at Deep Rooted Dishes, we try our best to be health conscious and make good decisions. That's what our whole movement's about. So that's what we're doing. Now, the soy sauce, as you can see, added a nice brown color, which is going to help, and it's going to be very flavorful as well. And here is our beautiful pineapple. Look at the color. Added a lot of color to the pot, and the juices are just going to heat up the pot again, and the juices are just going to be marinated so well through all of the vegetables and all of the tofu. So it's just something good to add to the pot for the eye, for aroma, and also for taste. Has lots of natural sugar and lots of natural juices in it. So these are things that are great for flavor builders when cooking. As you can see, beautiful. So now we're going to be adding in our rice. We're going to be tossing our rice into this mixture, which is the fried rice part. Obviously everything is in it, minus the rice. So we're going to fry it in the rice now, or toss in the rice. So what I did to create a crisp around the rice is, while everything was outside, and obviously outside is hot, summertime, we kept all of our rice nice and cold in the fridge. And what happens with that is it allows it not to overcook, and it allows the outsides of the rice to become crispy when you're sauteing everything in your wok or whatever pot you're deciding to use. So anytime you're making your fried rice, try to keep your rice cold until the point where you're going to be tossing it into your veggies and all of that stuff. So it's looking pretty good to me so far. It's smelling amazing. I can't wait to eat this. My mouth is watering just looking at this meal. So what we're gonna do next now is add in a little bit more soy sauce, and that's just gonna create more of a brown color on our soy sauce. Now you don't have to if you don't want to, but generally we like our fried rice to be nice and flavored and brown in color. So generally when you have a fried rice that is brown in color, it's soy sauce that gives it the brown color. So there you have it. Pretty much done at this point. Just frying up the rice in the pot a little bit more, but it's pretty much done and it looks amazing, as you can see. So here's the finished product, all ready to go and ready to be consumed. So what we're gonna do next is plate it and consume it. I wish I could share with you guys, but some of you are close and some of you are a little bit too far. But here's the final product. It's amazing. I suggest you guys try this recipe out. Thank you for watching this video. We need your support. We have a passion for food. So if you love food, if you love cooking, if you want to learn, subscribe to our page. This is what we do. Beautiful food. Thank you for watching, guys. Subscribe, like, and share.